Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, we're doing a mini movie cast. Me and Lianne sat down to discuss some of the films we've watched recently and to give some kind of review of those films and to see if these are films that you guys might want to check out. So this is me and Lianne doing a mini movie review.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Cookiecast.
Wow. So there's already a bit of editing that needs to be done. Cut off the first bit.
On this episode of Cookiecast,
she's off.
it's actually Moviecast.
I was saying, I don't know when it was, I don't know if it was when JK was here. I was saying it's a bit daunting when all the cameras are looking straight at you.
And there's just two of you.
I'm an off-camera kind of guy.
Yeah, you've got a voice for camera.
A face for radio.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, maybe we should have said that.
I said it wrong. Totally wrong. So, over to you. You want to do a real intro?
You were doing the intro, crack on.
I did the intro.
What
Welcome
was
to
it?
Moviecast. I will be your host today, Lianne.
Wow.
And this is my glamorous assistant. You just do it.
How the mighty have fallen. From top boss to bottom assistant.
Bottom dog.
In one foul podcast. So, podcast.
It's podcast time.
Yes, it is.
It's
We're doing some kind of movie cast.
some kind of movie cast, movie review. Check in on some movies
What films
we have watched.
we've watched
Yes.
recently?
What films have we watched recently?
We watched some Bond. Yeah.
Thunderball.
It's got ball in it.
Yep. Wow.
So it started because we watched. I don't know whether it might be like a bit of an unknown film.
It was unknown to me.
It was not unknown to me. I saw a trailer a while ago that looked good. The film is called Upgrade. It's got the guy who was
Trey.
in
In the OC.
the OC, as he will always be known. Or what was the main guy in the OC? The brother.
Ryan?
Ryan's brother in the
Was
OC.
he called Ryan?
I think so.
Yeah.
He will always be that guy.
Yeah.
Although.
That tried to rape Marissa.
Whoa.
Oh, he did.
Steady on.
Spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. It's
For
a
anyone
bit.
that
It's a
hasn't
bit
seen it.
fresh.
Okay, well he did.
It's a bit. Whew, don't know if that's the conversation. Even though I'm pretty sure when I looked him up, he was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as a henchman.
Did he work
Which I'm
for
pretty sure-
Michael Douglas?
Yes, which I'm pretty sure we looked up at the time.
Yeah, we did.
So,
So it was like, recognise him.
but he is that person that you just can never quite put. So Logan Marshall Green plays Grey Trace.
Grey Trace, yep.
Grey Trace. So there's a little sort of name thing there, and then there's like a real drop off as far as actors are concerned. The only one that I remotely recognised was one of the bad guys. That guy, Benedict Hardy.
Okay. I didn't recognise anybody else in the film, to be honest.
Who seems to have done a lot of movies recently. But nothing that so I don't know why I would recognise him. Maybe just
He
from
looks
trailers.
like somebody.
He does look like someone. Maybe he looks like himself. But yeah, other than Trey from the OC,
Yeah.
other than, what was he, Logan Marshall Green, other than him, it's a proper drop-off.
Yeah, there's nobody.
You said you
No
thought
big
you
names.
recognised the woman, the police woman.
Oh, she just looked like a woman from The Walking Dead, but it's
And
not
then it
her.
turned out not to be.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't, but she just had a striking resemblance to Sasha.
Baron Cohen?
No.
Okay. So, Upgrade is a movie that I saw a trailer for about 6 months ago. Now, a little known fact that's probably been mentioned on a podcast before is, and I think we had this conversation the other day. I think I'm gonna set it in stone. I think my favourite type of movie genre would be, if it's a genre, the revenge movie genre.
It must be a genre.
I mean, yeah, it's a type of film, isn't it? Like a good revenge movie. I'm always saying,
Yeah.
I love a good revenge movie.
Yeah.
And I do. I love a good revenge movie. So this is a revenge movie, and it's a kind of, I suppose it'd be classed as low budget, even though there was a couple of things in it. I was like, I wonder how they've done that. Like the long staircase that goes down,
Oh, yeah, from where
rather than
they...
a long staircase that goes up.
Yeah, where that guy lives.
Where that
yeah.
guy lives. So we'll try not to do too many spoilers, because there are some things that would ruin the film. So, you'll have never heard of this story before, because that was the other thing. In places it felt very familiar. Man and wife, who are happily married,
Very happy.
end up in the middle of nowhere because of reasons, and wife gets killed in a mugging type affair, and husband is paralysed. So he's paralysed from the neck down,
Yes.
and his wife is killed. And that's that.
Yep.
And he comes out of hospital, and he's got, it's set in the future, although at the beginning he's working on like classic muscle cars, which seems to be like his job. He does up and sells classic American muscle cars.
Which seemed to be sort of a bit of a novelty, given that they're
Yeah, because
in
all the cars are in the future and they drive themselves. So he comes out of hospital, and then he has to learn to live like the chair, sort of
He's a quadriplegic.
And like they fit his house out with like robot arms that'll make him food and give him drugs and stuff. So that's kind of that. And then early on in the film they introduce like this doctor guy who has made a microchip thing that can make people better, because it's like a computer. So far through, the doctor guy turns up, and the doctor's like, look, I can help you. Do you remember the microchip I showed you? Well, if we implant that into you, in the back of your neck, into your spine, it'll help you walk. I feel like I'm explaining the whole film at this point. I don't want to. So, he eventually agrees to it. The chip goes in, but then the chip talks to him.
Yeah.
And helps him go on a revenge mission. So find the people that killed his wife. And as with every story like that, you know, there's more to it than just revenge.
Couple of twists along the way.
Maybe, who knows? So that was that.
Yeah.
Now here's the other part of the story. Not the story of the film. The story about me watching this was, I'd sort of been like quite interested in it. I was like, I want to see that. I watched a few trailers, looked quite good. I was like, yeah. Then I saw it in Asda, but only on DVD, no Blu-ray. Looked on Amazon. You had to like import it from Norway or something, and it was like £18 on Blu-ray. I was like,
Too much.
Then I had a look, because I was like, oh, well, Amazon do like Amazon Prime, where you can rent stuff and buy stuff. And it was £13 to buy and download on Amazon Prime, or it was like a £5 to rent it for $4.49. I was like, a little bit rich, not entirely sure what this film is going to be like, even though I want to see it. And then this was like only a week ago or something.
Yeah.
Payday last week. I'm like, right, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna buy that film on digital download. Went to buy it, and it was £3.
Can't go wrong.
And it's like sold to the man in the hat.
£3.
So
It takes up no space on a shelf.
Happily recommend for £3 to own it. You watch it as many times as you want, as long as you've got your Amazon Prime good to go. It's £3. You can't argue with that. And if you want to look it up on Amazon, I think it's got like loads of sort of 5 and 4-star ratings. I really enjoyed it.
It was very watchable.
There's some very clever ways of filming things. Like there's some really nice scenery stuff. Like I say, that where that guy lived was really cool.
Yeah.
One of the best bits, sort of film wise, was when he does the backflip and the camera spins round over and over, and like those sort of things were really good.
There was a couple of things that, I don't know, you almost feel like it must have been filmed in reverse, like where he just stands up, but like his body
from lying down flat. Yeah.
Goes upright.
But we were talking about doing like a little movie review of some of the films we've seen recently, and what I was saying, you always run into that really difficult thing where you go, this film was terrible, and here's 400 reasons why it was terrible, and you can fill an hour talking about one bad film. And this is something that comes up often when we do movie-based stuff, is that if something's good and is genuinely good, it keeps you interested, it's got good story, good sort of film, you end up going, it was a good film.
Can't tell you why particularly.
Can't knock it. It's just, it was good. It was well worth £3, that's for sure. If I was to give it a score, 4 out of 5.
I thought you were going to say out of 10. Yeah.
Like if I was using the Amazon rating, 4 out of 5. Another rating system we've been using recently would be buy, rent, avoid.
Okay.
But for £3, buy it,
Buy it or rent it.
Or rent it, and then you'd have to worry about keeping it.
If you're not a buyer, yeah.
So that was the film Upgrade.
Yes.
Did you have anything more to add to Upgrade?
No.
No.
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
You give the 2 thumb way up rating.
Yeah.
Cool. What films did you watch? You told me you'd watched some amazing films.
I have watched, anyone that's a Dwayne Johnson fan, I have watched both Rampage and Skyscraper recently.
So there's this theory that you can take
Dwayne Johnson out of a movie, but you can't take the movie out of Dwayne.
No.
Huh.
You can take any dog shit piece of garbage movie, take Dwayne Johnson, insert Dwayne Johnson into the dog shit movie, and it instantly becomes a good film. Dwayne Johnson is the Arnold Schwarzenegger of this time. He makes bad films good just by being in them.
Yeah.
Like his charisma, I suppose it is, makes a movie.
Yeah.
Did I buy you both of those films?
Yes, you did, yeah.
For their Christmas?
Yeah.
I bought you them and was happy to buy them, had no intention of watching those films. So I like Dwayne Johnson. One of my favourite films, if not favourite film, is Pain and Gain. And for the reason of Dwayne Johnson is exceptional in that film. It's the first film where I ever went, oh my word, he can actually act. And he is just on point in that movie. He makes that film. He's so good. But I have a tolerance. So I'll watch a Fast and the Furious movie that's got Dwayne Johnson in. Got no issue with that. Because it's Fast and the Furious and, cars and submarines in the last one or something. But I'm happy to watch that. Jumanji, on the other hand,
I watched 5 minutes of that film whilst you were watching it. That film is unwatchable. It is terrible. So there are certain things I will watch and certain things I won't.
And I was going to say that there are certain films that would still be good without Dwayne Johnson in. Like, maybe not Pain and Gain, maybe he helped make that, but things like The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, because you've still got the cars and the explosions
and the rest
Vin
of the actors
Diesel
and stuff
to fall back on.
If you didn't have Dwayne Johnson in Rampage and Skyscraper, nobody would be watching them. He is the film.
Would have probably watched Rampage, I think, because obviously it's technically a video game movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's like, from where the video game was to where the film is, there's almost no comparison.
It probably bears no resemblance.
Rampage to me reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph, because they look identical, like the building. And then, like, Wreck-It Ralph climbs up and
Oh, right,
the
the game.
What Rampage
I don't know what
was.
Rampage was.
Rampage was a building, and monsters attack the building, and I think you're the monster, and you have to destroy the building.
Oh, okay.
And things are trying to stop you.
Right. I didn't know what it was.
So that's why Wreck-It Ralph.
What its origin was.
I would have maybe watched that, but I was like, it's gonna be terrible.
The storyline is horrendous.
And then
There's no avoiding that, but
Skyscraper, I was like, he's a guy, he's lost a leg, he's got a prosthetic.
Yeah.
And something to do with the building. He's got to get in the building because his family's in the building.
They live in the building, yeah.
I was like, how... I nearly said something. How much breadth has this film got? Which one do you want to talk about? Because you watched them and I didn't.
There's not a lot to say, really. I can't really recap on the storylines. As far as action movies go, then they're watchable. But it's like, you don't go in... I certainly don't go in to watch either of these films with high expectations. So, Rampage was enjoyable. There's a lot of CGI. Big animals that are over... I don't know what the word is. They are souped up animals. Like larger than they should be.
Hasn't he got like a friend that's a gorilla?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's...
And they can communicate and talk using sign language. And his gorilla helps him regain order. There's a wolf, there's like a crocodile. Yeah. Something else. I can't even remember what happened. But
well, I was going to be like, why don't you just run down the story, but...
And that's why I say no, I can't really. On the scale, it'd get a solid 3. But I always say I like giant monster type movies. And that kind of falls into that category.
I'm super excited for the new Godzilla film. It's like Godzilla fights all the monsters. That looks super fun. I love a monster movie, but I think it has to be the right monster movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll happily go and watch Godzilla Final Wars, which almost makes no sense whatsoever. But I won't watch Rampage because... yeah.
Yeah.
So, Skyscraper.
Skyscraper was probably rated slightly lower than Rampage.
Because it didn't have any monsters in it.
There was no monsters in it, yeah. As you've explained, his family is stuck in the skyscraper that has been set on fire.
Isn't it based on... Because there's like a real guy. Isn't it I'm not going to say isn't it based on a true story, but there was a guy who inspired the making of the film.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it says something at the beginning.
Because I just remember, I've got like Dwayne Johnson on like various social medias, and I'm sure I saw a video of him saying like, this is the guy that inspired the movie. And
right. Well, it's massively far-fetched. It is what you could sort of describe as a classic Dwayne Johnson action movie, where he is just remarkable beyond belief, the things that he can do with his prosthetic leg. And
When I saw him running and jumping out of a window to get from like one building to another,
he climbed up a crane, and then turns the crane to be able to get into the skyscraper through a window, but there's a huge gap in between, and he tries to swing like the hook that's on the bottom of the crane to smash the window, and then he's about to lower himself onto the hook and hook onto the window ledge. Maybe going into a bit much detail. Anyway, it slips off, and he then has to. The people that are trying to stop him from getting into the skyscraper, so they're about to get him. So he has to run along the length of the crane and then just leap in through the window. And yeah, he's very nimble. And that's not to say that the prosthetic leg holds him back, but some of the climbing that he does with the prosthetic leg, and there's a shoe on the bottom of his prosthetic leg. I don't know, maybe it is possible. I'm not going to attempt it to find out. Yeah. That rate's lower than Rampage, but it was still watchable. And it had
Neve
Campbell, yeah, in as well.
Who's done literally nothing in 10 years or
Probably
so.
not, no. Aged 10 years. 'Cause you kind of think of her from Scream.
Party of Five.
No, I think Scream came off. Yeah.
Shows all that.
So yeah, they are the classic movies that I've watched recently.
I don't think,
Rush out, everybody, and
I don't think classic is the right word.
either rent or avoid them, whichever you prefer. I enjoyed them.
Or both.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had some more? Certainly one more.
I've certainly got one more.
I know we've watched Ant-Man and the Wasp recently.
Not recently, we watched it just after Christmas.
Yeah, it's
I've got to that point now. I think as everybody expected, the oversaturation of Marvel movies has it's happened. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I had no intention of going to the cinema, not because I didn't like the look of it, because I'd literally just come off the back of Infinity War, and was like, I need a break, I need a rest, please can I just have a sit down for 2 minutes and not have to watch a Marvel film. And I love the Marvel stuff. Infinity War that's my go-to movie. If I'm like, I need to put something on that, I don't want to think about that, I really want to enjoy that, I just want to sit and watch, it's almost definitely going to be that film. I've seen that film, it could be 10 times since it's come out.
Really?
Saw it twice at the cinema.
Yeah.
We own it. We currently still own it in not only Blu-ray but 4K. I'm pretty sure.
Did I not? I thought I got.
I don't think so. I think they're both.
Oh, okay. Need sorting out.
But got Ant-Man and the Wasp in 4K for Christmas. Sat down, watched it. Thoroughly enjoyable film. Really good. Really entertaining. I think you can't say Ant-Man and the Wasp without talking about the bit where the guy's drugged. Everybody who's seen it will say that's the best bit of the film, with the truth serum where he's just talking really fast.
Yeah.
But we are now reaching that point. Like, Captain Marvel's coming out at some point fairly soon, and I couldn't be less interested about it.
Oh, really?
I have no interest. Spider-Man, okay, fine, looks a bit strange. The only thing I'm really interested in is Endgame, as far as Marvel's putting out. And I think we're all aware that the next phase of Marvel films is probably going to be characters that we never thought would get their own movies. Obviously, with the fact that Disney have bought Fox, that opens them up to be able to use characters that were owned by Fox. Fantastic Four being the main one, X-Men being the other, and obviously that also has the Wolverine thing. There's already talk of Wolverine being in an upcoming film. Whether that's true, who knows?
Interesting.
It's the fact that they were like, oh yeah, Hugh Jackman. It's like, Hugh Jackman's almost definitely said no.
He said no, hasn't he?
He said he was done.
That's it, yeah.
But, end of the day, how many zeros does it take to say no? So yeah, we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yep.
We watched Incredibles 2.
Oh yeah.
Super. Another one of those films where it's like, might have even been better than the first one.
So we watched both of them because I couldn't remember Incredibles, and as far as my memory did allow, it wasn't something I particularly enjoyed.
You weren't keen on the idea of watching it.
But watching it, thoroughly enjoyed it. And then the second one, equally as good.
First one's great. And watching them close together, I was like, I think the second one might just be a touch better because
Bit more baby stuff.
the Jack fight in the raccoon made that entire film. That bit was brilliant.
Yes.
I watched The Equalizer 2,
Oh yeah.
which you didn't. You'd heard bad things, and I'd also heard bad things.
It's
but
not my kind of movie.
Prime example of why you shouldn't listen to reviews. You know, like a podcast or a video about people reviewing films.
Yeah. Don't
You
listen
shouldn't
to
listen
anything we say.
to anything those people say because they're more than likely going to be
Morons.
wrong. However, I did initially listen to the reviews for The Equalizer 2, but I really enjoyed the first one. So I was like, well, I'll give it a try. I'll make my own mind up. And I did that. I watched it, and I really enjoyed it.
Is it a revenge movie?
It borders like the first and the second border. Actually, the second one is a revenge film.
Right. Okay. The first one certainly sort of.
Because at the start
borderline.
he's doing his like, I'm a guy who helps people with violence. But then something happens so far through, and then it's a revenge movie. It's cool. Back end is a touch far fetched, but at the same time doesn't take that much away from the whole film. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Denzel. Can't beat Denzel movie really.
Can't be Denzel.
Has anyone ever seen
A bad Denzel film.
movie?
That's it, isn't it? Has he ever done a bad film?
Was it Denzel that was in Training Day?
I was like, Training Day. That was a...
That wasn't a bad film.
No, it wasn't. But
We
when you've
just-
seen it 35,000 times in a week,
I don't think there is a film that I have seen more, even my own personal favourite.
Fight Club. I've seen Fight Club more than I've seen. Like almost like 38 times or something. So, is that everything that we've collectively watched?
You had another one.
I've got another one, but I was going to finish up with that.
Okay. What were you rating Incredibles and...
Incredibles 2 is definitely, for me, it's a buy, especially if you own the first one or you've seen the first one, or if you're not a buyer, if you're not somebody who buys things but you like to watch stuff, definitely rent it, definitely watch it. Good film. Thoroughly enjoyed
Must
it.
see.
Equalizer 2, don't listen to the reviews you've heard, don't listen to my review, sit down and watch it if that's your sort of film.
Is it one of those, if you enjoyed the first one...
If you
then-
enjoyed the first, it's slightly different but very similar. It's the same but different. So I would buy it, but if you're still unsure because you've heard a lot of bad reviews, rent it. 4 out of 5 for Incredibles 2 and 4 out of 5 for Equalizer 2.
Can work with that.
You can work with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to watch the Equalizer 2 now for my
No.
review?
I'm going to stick to Rampage. I still have a movie to watch.
You do. I saw it on Amazon today and went, you haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I just haven't had an opportunity to watch
Alpha, which has had terrible
reviews. That's why I wanted
You
to
can
watch
do
it.
that on the next one.
Yeah.
Talk about how amazing it was, even though the review's really
I
bad.
don't listen to the reviews.
I've got a film to watch, but
I bet you watch it and enjoy it
I'm sure.
if you live long enough to see
I
the end.
got the latest Mission Impossible, is it Fallout?
Mm-hmm.
And then we looked at the runtime, because you've got no interest in watching that, have you? And we looked at the runtime, and it's something like 2.5 hours long. And it was like,
I think it was more. Was it closer to 3?
It was close to 3 hours. I was like, oh wow!
I struggle.
And I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I'd actively avoid Tom Cruise movies if I can. And I told you, didn't I, that I'd seen this thing, and I thought it was an advert with Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill, like taking the piss out of the Mission Impossible film, and then realised that it was just a clip from the actual movie. So that was a bit.
I just struggle with the
concerning
storylines for Mission Impossible. Like, I never really understand what's going on at any given moment, or why they're doing what they do. There's too many twists and turns for my simple mind to follow.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'll get round to it at some point.
Yeah, when I can free up 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
So, I like to keep my eye out for things, and then I like to make the time to watch those things, which might sound a bit strange, but I find that I don't really have a lot of time to sit and watch stuff. We watch, like, we're watching DC Titans at the moment, and I imagine it'll take us till Christmas to get through it, because we just don't.
We probably haven't watched one in a week, at least, have we?
At least. I wanted to watch F is for Family, 20-minute animated episodes of Bill Burr's season 3 of F is for Family.
It's been
Bill Burr. It's been out since before Christmas, and we're at the end of January, and I still haven't finished it.
Did I hear you watching one last night?
I was trying to get it finished because I was waiting for a game to download. But there are certain things that really stand out to me, and I'm like, right, mental note, or even make a note, do a reminder for this. I did a reminder. I want to see that. So things that stand out for me are like Happy on Netflix. Saw a trailer for that. I was like, that looks super cool. Watched it. Fantastic series. If anybody hasn't watched Happy, heartily recommend that. That is a great series. Weirdly enough, saw a trailer for the second series of Happy the other day. It looks cool. So Netflix original movie, the film Polar.
I haven't heard of it.
And I saw a trailer for this a while ago, and I sent it to the podcast group, the WhatsApp podcast group, saying, check this out, this looks awesome. And I think Ed was like, oh, it just looks like did he say Taken or something? No surprises, it's a vengeance movie. I can't even think what he said it looked like, but I'm going to look up the guy, because the main guy in it's been in other stuff. Don't have to look far, because obviously I've already looked up. The main guy is Mads Mikkelsen.
He was the Hannibal.
He's Hannibal.
Yeah.
He's probably one of his more famous
recent
ones. But he's been in Doctor Strange, he's in Rogue One. People will know who this person is, otherwise IMDb him.
If in doubt, IMDb.
Other people that stood out in it was Matt Lucas from Little Britain, I guess is the most popular thing he's done recently. He's a bad guy in it, and plays Matt Lucas. There's this, I don't want to ruin it, but there was an actor towards the back end that popped up, and I was like, I cannot believe that that's him. I never would have thought he would have done something like this. So if you watch it, watch out for a surprise actor that has a cameo towards the back end. Johnny Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
He's in it at the beginning. Thank the maker. Gets killed early on. Spoilers, by the way. So how do I? So try not to do any spoilers. It's a revenge film. That Mads Mikkelsen is a hitman who works for a hitman company. The company have this thing that when you reach 50, you have to retire. He pays money into his pension from the hitman jobs he does, and the company pays money into his pension as well. Obviously, he's a hitman, so he earns shitloads of money. So you have to retire at 50. So you're like, cool, get my retirement, loads and loads of money, and away we go. The contract that these hit people, because there's women as well, these eyes don't see colour or gender. The hit people who work for this company sign a contract that says if you retire and you die, all of your pension reverts back to the company. Can anybody guess where this one's going? So no surprises, loads of hit people that work for this company start dying left, right and centre. He's coming up to retirement, and this is at the point that like other hit people have died. So he's coming up to retirement. He's quite savvy. I'm pretty sure this is a Dark Horse comic. I think it's based in the comic world. He's quite savvy, so he kind of senses that something's not right. Gets so far, goes out and lives in the wilderness. Meets. He's got a neighbour that he meets and he gets on with. But then, no surprises, the hit people they come for him, and then obviously he goes looking for them.
Ooh.
And that's the basic premise of that film.
Sounds good.
It was really good. Really stylised the way it's shot. Lots of quick cuts, especially early on. It's like bang, 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 sort of way of filming things. We're going to show you this, and now we're showing you that, and like splash, like a person's name would be on the screen, like, and it's funny in a lot of places. Like, it doesn't take itself. In some ways, it doesn't take itself seriously, and in other ways, it's super serious. There's a scene in it that if it's not inspired by the movie Old Boy, like there is this long sort of scene in it that's just amazing. Super cool, super fun, beautiful sceneries and like the wilderness stuff, because it's just out in, like, he lives in a cabin in the woods in winter, so it's just snow and trees, and it's beautiful. It looks really nice. The characters are all super over the top. Another one of those things that I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend. Obviously you don't need to buy it because it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
Not everyone might have Netflix.
It might get released. I think they generally do release certain things. So I really enjoyed it. It was one of those that I set a reminder to watch it, and then I was like, I want to watch that film.
I might watch that.
And I sat down and I watched it, and it was really good.
Sounds like something I could.
You could watch it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take your recommendation.
And shove it.
And watch the film.
There you go, and you should watch that.
Yeah.
I've recommended something to you and you've gone, yes.
I will watch it independently, and then I will let all these listeners and watchers know whether they can rely on your recommendation.
Yeah, you can tell them how good my recommendation is. I'm going to say I could go 5 out of 5.
No.
Well, it's part of me would want to just annoy Sam by going 4.5 out of 5.
Well, yeah. I think you have to on a 5 scale.
It's like a 8.7 out of 10. Come get me, Sam.
Gotta find you first.
So yeah, that
Okay.
of all those films, I'd probably recommend that one highly.
Okay.
So there you go. Good.
So that's that.
That is that.
That's a wrap.
A wrap.
Can tune back in the near future to hear
We might do another one.
reviews on.
We're working our way through the entire James Bond collection.
Yeah. As I said, we're only up to like 4th or 5th one. I'm
Yep.
not sure. You'll have watched Fallout.
Mission Impossible Fallout. I'll have watched that eventually.
I'll have watched Alpha. I might have watched something good somewhere along the lines.
You might watch something good. You might watch Polar.
I might have watched Polar. You might have also watched King of Thieves.
Yep, I've got King of Thieves, which looks super fun. I really like Michael Caine. I really like Ray Winston. They're both in that film, so we're off to a flying start. It's got loads of classic British actors.
Yep.
Paul Whitehouse.
Yep.
It's got the guy that played Dumbledore. Michael Gambon. Is that him?
Don't know.
It's got Charlie Cox, Daredevil, in it.
It's got
Hatton Garden robbery movie.
Yeah. Heist movie.
Looks super fun, so I'll watch that and we can talk about that.
Comment
further down the line.
Okay.
Cool. There we go then.
Thank you for joining us.
Short and sweet.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me on my podcast.
Let's not confuse people. Everybody recognises me.
I'm sure they do.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Mini movie review of some of the films that we've seen recently. Some good movies. You should check those out. If you do check them out, why don't you leave us a little comment on our YouTube page? Tell us what you thought to them. Did we get our reviews correct? Or alternatively, you can jump over to thecookiecast.com, send us some social media love, send us an email, tell us what films you've seen recently. Just generally check out the website. So there we go, a little movie cast there, short and sweet, but straight to the point. Tune in next time to see what we've got going on there. So until then, I'll say bye-bye. Bye.